It's time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millis Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedules, horse biting, and seasonal hunting information with my outdoor media analysts Joe Allen Dunn and Kevin Sims. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millis Ferry hunting and fishing report.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shade. Team Bigfoot in the house.
And we got Team Bigfoot in the house. Kevin couldn't make it tonight. He had to work. But we got sitting in for him, Mr. Shane Jones, crappie fishing, who spent the weekend with us this weekend. We're going to talk about that. Shane, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, guys. How y'all doing this evening?
Got a good crowd on here today. Let me make sure I got all the recorders because we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Starting out with, Shane, I want to talk about the weekend before we get to the crappie fishing. Man, I didn't know you were such a chef, Joe Allen. He showed out this weekend.
I know it. Everything was, good.
Yeah. I like to cook about as much as I like to fish. That's true. So.
Well, you fed a lot of folks too, and those steaks were just unbelievable. And that chicken, I don't know how you did that chicken, man.
They're chicken thighs. They're simple. You put some garlic, salt, and pepper on them, and put them on the grill to 165 and pull them off.
I tell you, we need to set up a kitchen, a showdown at Don's Camp cooking. Yeah. I'm telling you, I believe we could do something with it.
Well, Shane, this weekend we're going to do everything on the Blackstone flat top. Let's do some cooking on it.
That's fine. I like to cook on that thing too. You can do some smash burgers and stuff. So.
Last time you was on here, Shane, you were going to Tennessee, I believe, and do some velvet deer hunting. How did that turn out?
It did good. It was hot. Lord, it was hot. It was 90-something degrees. I went up and hunted. It's an old hayfield. They bush hogged. It's been growed up for about 7-8 years, and there's a lot of new growth popping up. And heck, I couldn't find a tree because it was so thick around there. So I just got me a chair and tried to hide myself. I don't do too well at hiding.
Yeah.
But I tried to hide in some brush and stuff, and I seen 4 nice bucks. I seen a 3.5-year-old 8-point. He come out about 50 yards, and he seen me, but he wasn't sure what I was. And that's a long shot with a bow, so I wouldn't, unless I had a great shot on him. It's kind of hilly, and I don't want to drag far. So.
Yeah, I don't blame you about that. But I heard after you went up there, I heard some chatter that they trying to get a velvet hunt started down here in Alabama.
Well, South Carolina's been doing it for years. It starts August 15th. They've been doing it for a long. They have a rifle season then, if I ain't mistaken.
Well, we had the dove season opened up in the North Zone this week, and I tell you, Joe Allen, we got, and I don't want to make an issue out of it, but it is time to revisit the dove laws, rules, and regulations, especially about this baiting, because we had a couple of incidences where the game wardens came and checked the field, which is fine and good. We want them to do that. And one field had a few kernels of corn in it, unintentional, because I know the guy spent about $3,000 on the field. He certainly wouldn't have jeopardized his business by putting corn out. No. But it was some mixed in with something that he had put out. He got it a buggy. Anyway, they shut the hunt down.
Right.
And wrote him a minor ticket.
Right.
All right. 2 counties over, same thing happened. And they wrote a warning and let them hunt.
Right.
So it's some. We need to get everybody on the same page.
Yep. Now, they have a guideline to go by, and a guy printed off for me and showed me everything. He said he went right by it and he got shut down because some of the seed looked like it had sprouted, prior to putting it out or whatever. You know.
But that's different from the corn being in the field.
Yeah.
Now this was just they said that he didn't plant by the farming practices, so it's just confusing to the hunters is what it is.
We like you said, we got to get some way that we can either have our fields checked prior, to the hunt and the game wardens check off on it, or just something. We got to get all on the same page. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just too much. And you said it one time we were talking about this issue before, Joe Allen, and it just makes hunters not want to hunt. It really does. It just you think you're hunting a legal field, and then here comes the game warden it just ruins your afternoon, especially if you got kids, and it's just. I'll say it again. I've been saying it for 10 years. We need to somehow get that mourning dove off the Migratory Act of 1918 and get the state in control of it. The state make the rules and regulations, and where everybody can be on the same page. The state says they go by the federal laws. The federal law says go by the Extension Service farming practices, which it's just like the feeding the deer. When they said you can shoot a deer 100 yards out of sight of corn, it's the same thing.
Yeah, that's pretty.
You gotta use some common sense, and I just hate it for the hunters. I really do. I know the game warden got to do their job, but still, it's when somebody's hunting the first weekend and they think they shooting a legal field, and then here come the game wardens and it just takes away from it. And I just wish it was something we could all do, get together, communicate, have transparency, and get this issue fixed. Right. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Now, the next thing I want to raise Cain about, Shane, is the water this weekend.
Oh, man.
They sucked it out. And I called the powerhouse a while ago, and they have got all 3 units running in Miller's Ferry, all 4 units running in Jones Bluff round the clock, and the spillways open. Where'd all that water come from?
They pulling them lakes down up north, probably.
Mm-hmm.
Up north.
Well, they got a lot of rain up my way, Big Daddy. I seen Gunnersville State Park. I seen some people kayaking through the state park on my Facebook.
Oh yeah, I saw that too.
I guess all that water's coming down y'all's way, and I don't know if they're preparing for it or Demopolis is up a little bit. It's up about 2 foot. I looked at the chart a little while ago. I'm always looking at it, but I don't know. I woke up and I dropped my power pole at Joe Allen's, and instead of tying my boat up, and that morning I couldn't even come up it. It put so much force going backwards where the water dropped a foot and a half. Mm-hmm. So I had to spin the boat around it. I was like, man, they have sucked the bottom out of the river. So.
I don't know. I don't know why they do it, and I've been trying for 30 years to find out who that person is makes that decision to suck that water down, and I can't find it.
I will say this though, they sucked it down. I found a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have said. I marked my finger was smoking, marking tree tops and stumps that's sticking out because that I didn't know was there, especially on the main river. So I tried to make the best of the situation. So.
Hey Shane, I see Mark Baldwin's on here. He just sent me. I ain't had time to put it up, but he nailed them today. He nailed them today.
Mark Ketchum now. We talk all the time. We sure do.
And Bud Williamson, I got a bone to pick with you. That day, Shane put a nice post up thanking me and Joe Allen for hosting him this weekend.
I've seen that.
Bud says he was with. What did he say? Something about a legend of Miller's Ferry. Talking about Joe Allen. Ain't even mentioned me. Ain't even.
I've seen that.
I wasn't even there.
I did catch that.
You got to understand, Mr. Bud is my public relations director.
I believe it. I sure believe it. But anyhow, the water. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that water. But you you just don't know. It's no way. You just gotta.
You gotta be prepared for it.
That's right. You gotta be prepared for what it is. River temperature today was 84 in the sloughs, 88. Is that about what you saw this weekend?
Yes, that's about right. 81 in the morning, about 87, 88 in the evenings. That's about right.
And the dredging's still going on. They're on the way up to Selma City Landing, and that is going to tell the tale. Now, I have heard 2 disappointing reports about the entrance of Roland Cooper State Park. I hadn't been there yet, but I had 2 people tell me that it wasn't much different than it was. So I don't know.
Well, the water's down. So I seen a lot of dirt on the bank on one of the points. And I seen 2 or 3 foot of. So you got to realize the water's down a foot.
Yeah, the water was down. I didn't think about that.
You know, they probably dragging, a foot and a half. I mean, when I went in some of those sloughs, I was bumping stuff that I normally don't bump. So
yeah, but up there at that Selma City Marina is going to tell the tale, because you can tell up there. It's just a big pond and then a little chute going out in the river. We're going to be able to tell how good that dredge boat does up there. And by the way, Joe Allen, I've had 20 people ask me this week, did you get the net registered in the Guinness Book of World Records?
I'm working on it. They want some more video picture evidence, and I got a good bit more. I just hadn't posted it yet. And I got one. I got one that I really like. It's with back when I can't remember his name. Him and his girls went fishing with us, and all them girls in there, and they holding that net up. I said, that's the one I need right there.
Jason Domain says, "What's up, Shane?"
I seen it pop up on. I'll reply to it later. Jason, I like it. He's fishing that invitational. Wally Marshall.
Yeah, Wally Marshall. Brandon Threadgill is too, and so we'll have some local boys up there.
I'd like to go to that expo. Brandon told me I need to show up for it, so I might drive my butt up there. Who knows?
All right, let's see what else I got. Today's podcast was about hummingbirds. I went back in my archives and replayed an interview I did with Fred Bassett, y'all. That man knows more about hummingbirds than anybody I know, and everybody is sending me video after video after video of hummingbirds. And this right here is just David Gaston sent me this right here, if I can find it. This is him and Miss Dottie's hummingbird. Feeders, how long they're going to be here, why they're here, and all kind of stuff like that. So it is a good podcast with Fred Bassett. Rabbit, squirrel, and special teal season come in this Saturday morning, and I think that's all to note. Anything else y'all want to talk about before we get into the hunting and fishing report? All right, let's start with the catfish. The catfish. Let me make sure I got all my notes. Yeah, the catfishing. Owen Peak sent me a video of him and his kids went jugging up there. I think he said he was up around Cedar Creek, and they caught a big old alligator snapping turtle on a jug. Them boys were having them a good time with that catfish. Talked to Brian Taylor, Big Bama Bryant, and he fished all weekend. He took some kids. They caught a bunch of fish, but no big fish. So catfishing this weekend, our boy, the Prince of Sand Island, is tagging catfish.
Yeah, he had them good down below the dam again. Me and Donna watched the guy put up some jugs 2 days right in front of the house. But see, they wasn't pulling no water during the day.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't do nothing. They just sit there. And then I think it was Monday. Then they started back pulling water, during the day. And that's when Travis went down there and tore them up.
He had a bunch of fish to clean yesterday.
He gave me 2 sacks of them. Them catfish he cleaned, he sure did.
He can sure catch them now. Brandon Threadgill's tuned in. He's on here with us. How you doing, Brandon? We got to get him on here on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he's over in Grenada. They're getting ready for that ACT big tournament this weekend.
Yeah. Good luck, Brandon.
Yeah,
Show him how to do it. But I wonder if Gerald Overstreet's over there.
I don't know.
I haven't heard from Gerald in a while.
There's a bunch of good fishermen going to be there. I guarantee you that. So.
All right, catfishing this weekend, Joe Allen, tight lining. What you going to do?
It depends on what they do with this water. I don't know what's going to happen by the weekend. Right now, it's high. It's a super full pool, and they got it going pretty good. I mean, if I was fishing today or tomorrow, I'd have them jugs out right in the middle of the river like I always do. But even though that water is high, it is clear, and pretty. That water is gorgeous. So, I don't know. If they cut it off, go to the sloughs. If they don't cut it off, stay in the river.
And you ain't going to have no trouble getting no bait. I can tell you that now.
Boy, that river's full of it, son.
All right, let's go to crappie fishing. Bert Osmond and his grandchildren. I put the pictures up, them pictures that make old Big Dad tick. They caught some crappie this weekend. Let me see if I can pronounce this name right. I got the video. It's Bobby Jenkins' grandson named Jesse Grashowski, and he caught his first crappie. I got the video on my Facebook page, and I love pictures like that. I really do. And Shane, now I want to get into the crappie fishing with you. I'm going to put this up here because this right here is why you are going to be, everybody loves Shane Jones crappie fishing, because he was up in a slough. And he was right. I want you to tell this story about these two right here.
Oh, yeah, them's good folks right there.
Tell us that story.
That's Nathan and his son Hudson. They call him Huddy. I was in the creek fishing, and I was within 100 yards of them, and I was catching fish pretty good. I caught 5, 6, 7. He asked me how many I caught. I said, I done caught 8. He kind of shook his head, and he was having a kind of, I ain't going to say a hard time, but I seen him kind of messing with his live scope, and I know I was a kid once. So I like to see fish get caught. So I asked him what color jig he thought. I told him put a chartreuse and white on. He did, and I caught a couple more. And I said, you know what, man? I said, just drop your anchor and get on the boat with me. And he said, I will. I said, just drop your anchor right there. So he got on the boat. I said, I'm gonna show you how I do it. It's not the best way. I'm just gonna show you how I do it. I fish, and man, we approached the fish, and we got lined up on him. I showed him how I lined the boat up and everything, and he caught several fish. And little Huddy, he was counting them away.
Look at that smile! Look at that smile!
I'm gonna have to make another video. That little kid cracked me up the whole time. There was a fish in the live well that wasn't doing too good, and he said, "Hey Shane," he said, "one of these fish is laying on his side." I said, "What's he doing?" He laid on my cushion. He goes, "It looks like this." I said, "He ain't gonna make it." He's laughing. He kept me. I enjoy it. If I'm catching fish and laughing, I'm having a good time. So.
Yeah, that's right. Well, let's talk about your trip to Miller's Ferry. You not only fed probably 30 or 40 people, but you also fished for 3 days and caught over 300 crappie.
I did catch a lot of crappie. The population is alive and well in Miller's Ferry. I caught a bunch of 8, 9-inch fish. I caught a ton of fish. I moved around a little bit. I'm always hunting some off-color water. I don't like clear water at all. Y'all know that. But I went into several sloughs, and when the pressure started changing, you seen those fish come up out of the mud. Those fish down the Miller's Ferry, people don't realize it. And I've had Brandon Threadgill told me the same thing. He's like, hey, you'd be surprised. You go through an area and you turn around and they pop up. And that's the truth, man. You're like, where'd they come from? They come up out of that mud. and then you can go to catching them. It's been mid-morning here lately, but, you know, the feeding chart, Nathan was saying, hey, the feeding chart today was 12 o'clock. You know, that was Monday, and I was like, man, we started catching fish at 10:30, 11 o'clock, so that may be incoherent with all that stuff, so I don't know.
Well, I don't know either, but I want to hear about them bonehead jigs.
I'll show you. Well, here's my observation. People get carried away with having too many electronics, too much high-tech stuff, and they forget who taught them how to fish. You got to pay attention to the water. There's stuff going on in that water. There's shad, and all these shad are small right now. You clean these fish, they're not big at all. I mean, you'll see there's shad out there in the main river. They're little small shad because they were just born, you know, during the shad spawn early summer. So I started downsizing my bait, and a bonehead does make a little bait. That's a 1.75. That is a 1 3/4 ounce bait. It's small. I don't know if y'all can see it real well, but that's a slick color, they call it. It's a shad color. So I'll throw in with that chartreuse head and some off-color water. And also this chartreuse and white. That's the exact baits I threw all weekend. Those two right there. And those fish couldn't stand that little jig coming by them. You know, it's erratic, just like them young little fry are. They're jumping around, and they can't take that little bait. It's a tough bait. I caught 20-something fish on one before I tore it. You know, the package, I'll show you guys.
I don't know. We got to
the package look just like this right here. I've been using it for years.
You got to get some of them, Joey.
Me and Joe talked about it up there. This is called a slim stick. They make a 2 3/8, a 3-inch, and they make a 1.75. That's what I use this time of year in the winter. When them fish start feeding up, you can throw the bigger bait. They make a little stump bug too. You can pinch the legs off this if you need a smaller profile, but that's the baits. That's the exact baits I used. I mean, I can show you here. I dyed the tail. I don't know if y'all can tell that on camera. I dyed the tail. I spray dyed that with some Spike It, you know, just to give a little color to something from the hone in on, and that's what we caught all them fish on. I caught a bunch of black crappie.
What about your presentation? Now, you told me you was jerking.
Yeah, those fry are jumping around erratic. So when I go through that stump of that brush pile, I'm not hopping my jig a foot. I was explaining to Nathan, I twitch it so it moves an inch or two. Just twitch, and I get it above that pile. If one's hot, if a fish is hot in that pile, he'll come out. If not, I'll keep it in that middle of that pile, about mid of the whatever that. If that brush pile 6 foot, I'll keep it 3 foot in that pile so I can get one to react to it. And even if it is small fish, I just want to see some reaction out of one. And then, you know, once you aggravate them enough and they see that little jig coming through that pile, they'll react to it and eat it.
No minnows in the boat.
Well, you can't do what I do with this little jig with a minnow. That minnow gets in there, and I ain't saying you won't set it in front of one's nose and eat it, but I can cover a lot of water and see what kind of reaction I'm getting from those crappie. That's what it's about. Just seeing if they like the bait, you'll know it. It'll be down in the gullet when they eat it. I mean, I had to take my finger. I've got a callus on my finger now from pushing this jig out of the back of their throat. That's when you know you got the right bait.
Well, and I want to tell, I'm going to speak for myself now. I'm not going to speak for Joe Allen or Kevin, but I'm plumb ashamed of myself that Shane spent 3 days down here and none of the 3 of us got in the water.
Now, there weren't many people in the water. I seen Nathan crappie fishing and another G3 out there. And that's the only crappie fisherman I seen. I seen a few bass guys on some points in the morning up there around Bridgeport, you know, but there wasn't a lot of people fishing. They just really wasn't, you know.
We can't take that heat like Shane can.
Shane and Travis, they too tough. They way tougher than I am.
Hey, I got that umbrella. I'm not trying to be too tough, but heck, I don't know. I get to thinking about it. I eat and sleep these stinking fish, you know, and I go down there. I'm on. Like I told you, I'm on know where not to catch them.
Yeah.
And I found out where to catch them, and it may change next weekend, but when you catch over 200 fish, that population is really good, and that's not no exaggeration.
All right, Shane. For those who are listening that come into Miller's Ferry this weekend, tell them what to do.
Finding some stained water, 10, 11 inches, 12 inches of visibility. Don't mess. I went downriver, and you know naturally, the closer you get to a dam, the clearer the water. That's the way it is. And I didn't see a lot of fish down there. I'm not saying you can't catch any down there, but if I see 10, 11 inches visibility, I'm going to, you know, if you have live scope or you don't, if you know where a brush pile is in that 10 to 7 foot range, That's what you're looking for. For me personally, that's where I caught all them fish. 10 foot and up this weekend. 8 foot, 7, 8 foot was a magic number, and they were. I fished stake beds. I fished brush piles. I fished stumps. Again, I caught a lot of those fish on stumps, in several of those creeks. But they're not on every stump. They're sporadic out there. But you'll turn around. You can ask Nathan. We turned around and went right back through the same area that I just came through, and we picked up 5, 6 more fish. I mean, they're coming in there and coming up out of that mud.
All right. Now, you sent me a post yesterday. Somebody nailed them in Demopolis. If you're going to Demopolis crappie fishing, what's
That's
up?
Robbie. He was fishing probably some open water fish. Knowing him, I see him fishing. He caught some good ones. I actually sent him a message. I actually commented on his page. I said, I'm glad to see those fish finally moving in there. They got a little water coming through there for a change. The week before last it rained and the water went up, and that's what helps that area. It colors the water, and those fish can ambush those shad a lot better. So, but he did. If you're going down there, I'd hit some brush piles. If the water's not moving too far, I'd check some main river stuff where that trunk spreads out. I would check that kind of structure and stuff. But he probably caught them fish in open water. Knowing him, he's a good open water fisherman because that's all I see him fishing.
Well, I appreciate that. You coming back this weekend?
Yes, sir. I plan on coming down there and see what I can do with them again. I'm gonna try to learn that area as well as I do anywhere else.
Well, you figured it out pretty good. I can tell you that.
I can't wait till them big fish get fat and start showing up. Those big 2 and 3 pounders. Of course, I'll let them things go, but I want to see them.
Yeah. Joe Allen, you gonna go this weekend?
Yeah, Donna said we going this weekend.
Yeah, I heard her. Yeah, y'all was kind of in doubt this weekend, and then I guarantee she's seen enough.
Hey,
the heat and all, but it
was hot.
She kind of got upset seeing all them fish she was catching.
And then and she said, "The heck with that entertaining. Let's go fishing."
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 60s, the low 60s next week. I think.
Yeah.
So it's coming. The 80 to 82 with a high. I think Tuesday or Wednesday. So that's going to help.
Old Kenny Massengill said there's 9 gates open and all 3 units running, tons of current in the river. And what was it this weekend? I mean, it's just unchanged. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it's gonna be different this weekend, Shane. Than it was
hey, I'll take it, buddy. You gotta adapt. You can't get mad. You just gotta adapt and go find it.
All right, let's talk about the bass fishing, Joe Allen. We got the fruit jar tournament tomorrow at Bridgeport City Landing at 3:00. Gilberttown Bass Club will be here from Bridgeport City Landing Saturday to do their club open. It is an open tournament.
Yep.
If you're going bass fishing without water being as low as it was, now it's running. All the gates open. The spill is the powerhouse running around the clock. What you gonna do?
Well, when that water comes back up like it does, some that will turn your shallow water fish back on. So it could be anybody's game. They could be anywhere. You're gonna still have fish on the river and the ledges and points, especially your big spots and all that current. But and still it's you're large. There's gonna be large mouth out there too. But usually when that water comes up, I like to go and hunt those big largemouth back up in some of the creeks, up under some of them grass mats. So they got plenty of water. Now, if it had been the other way around where that water done fell out, you would have to stick with the river, and fish points and ledges then. But now we've had a yo-yo effect all summer long, just really up and down. So,
well, good luck to all you guys bass fishing at Gilberttown tournament this weekend. And I wish we could tell you more, but I wish Kevin was here. Yeah. He could tell you exactly how to catch them. He might be fishing it. Did he fish you one in the Masters last weekend?
I think he did.
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him. I meant to ask him if he did. I seen the results. So what won it, Big Daddy?
I don't forgot. I looked at it.
I seen it.
I said I was going to write it down. I never did.
It's 15, 16 pounds maybe. I forget. Yeah. That may be right, but it looked right.
But anyway, they'll be at Miller's Ferry this weekend, and we'll keep up with them. Now, let's go to dove hunting. Dove season came in this weekend, and I want to show y'all Davis Finley.
That's a cool picture.
his mama caught that picture of him throwing. That's an empty box. He shot his first box of shells, had 5 doves, and his daddy said that's the first time he ever shot 5 doves flying. And but I said that name sounded familiar. And I went back in my archives and I found, you remember when he was a little bitty boy, that was back in 2014 at a McKnight Marine tournament. That's Davis. And he had that bag, him and his daddy. So I remember that name. He done growed up, be a good young outdoorsman. So congratulations to Davis on being a certified dove hunter. And then Craig Gamble carried his grandson, Sawyer, and he got his first 9 doves shooting by himself.
That's good stuff.
So that's what it's all about. That's what we was talking about at the first of the show, y'all, is and that's why we all need to get on the same page. When you carry those kids to an invited dove field and the game warden show up and shut the hunt down, we just all need to get on the same. It just gives everybody a bad taste.
Well, it's like one guy told me, he looks at the game warden, say, you trying to tell me you want them to go back in the house and get back on their video games or hunt out here with us?
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about it, Big Daddy. Those guys are trying to protect a bird that lives 2 years.
Yeah.
Doves live 2 years, and you can't kill with 15. In Argentina, they're a nuisance. You can burn your barrel down.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's the only thing with me. I don't think they need to put any stipulations. If you want to spend the money to kill your 15, hey, so be it.
That's right. I agree 100%. And of course, their excuse is it's under the Federal Migratory Act.
I understand that's a law.
1918, and I understand that, but it's just too complicated.
Well,
it's too complicated, and it costs too much to get a feel right for something like happened this weekend.
Well, you're gonna have federal regulations because the birds move through so many states.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but they should do their survey. How many birds we got? Set the bag limit, and then let states do however they want to with that bag limit and the days they give them.
Like they do the red snapper.
Right.
That's right. That's right. I'm telling you, it needs a conversation at the least being started about changing it. It really does. Now, they have tried to make it legal to shoot over bait with all this extension service, farming practice crap, and it just is too complicated for the common man to understand, And that's just, I said I wasn't going to talk no more about it, but I say legalize shooting doves over bait. That's what I say.
Amen.
All right, who's going squirrel hunting this weekend? A lot of people say you ain't going to squirrel hunt because the wolves in the squirrel, but I can remember years ago when I was a little fella and we hunted squirrels, the wolves didn't bother us. We just skinned the skin right off of them. The wolves didn't get any meat.
Yeah, but back then the season come in later too a little bit, and most of them was gone. Me personally, I like to see a frost. I'm worried about other fellas out there.
Amen to that. I've seen some of them too.
Yeah, and I want that other fella to go to bed, then I'll go hunting.
That's right. Bud makes a point. Those doves we're shooting right now are resident doves. They aren't migrating doves anyway. So.
True.
All right, Joe Allen. Special teal season comes in. Kevin explained to us pretty good last week why they come in early. Did you see any teal out there this weekend?
I didn't see any or hear any. I kind of kept my eyes open. I seen 2 ducks, and they may have been woodies when I was in the creek, but that's all I seen.
Yeah.
All I heard was a bunch of pigs squealing on the bank this weekend.
John Farmer say those squirrel tails for tying crappie jigs.
Yeah, he does tie. John ties some great jigs. Old Fulmer does now. I got some in my box right here. He ties.
I remember saving my squirrel tails and selling them to Mr. Twister back then. Mm-hmm. Or Mips.
Mip. Number 2 squirrel tail Mip.
It was
I got some in a box somewhere. I think they're behind me. I've got some in a box behind me, some squirrel tails, some shag tail.
I got some that old Jason Dumaine made me.
Yeah, I got some of his too.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got other than the rodeo report. And Kevin ain't here, so I don't know if it's a rodeo this weekend or not. Do you know?
I have no idea.
I don't either, so we can't do nothing on rodeo. I think that's all I got. Shane, you gonna come this weekend?
Yes, sir. I'm planning on being down there. See if
I'm gonna try to get out there this weekend too. I am.
Yeah, you come out there and join me. We'll go ring around Rosie out there around here.
And me and Don will be right behind you.
Hey, come on in there. There's plenty of them. I like to see people catch them, and that's a good thing about crappie fishing. There's no secrets. You want to share it and watch people catch them. So.
All right, well, we'll plug your Shane Jones Crappie Fishing YouTube channel. Did you put a video up, Miller's Fair?
I've actually started editing one this weekend. I caught so many fish, a lot of small ones. So I'm trying to put together something people can actually learn from. Don't nobody want to just see me reeling fish. They're not learning nothing from that. So.
Well, Shane, with all those little fish, that means what? In a year or two, we're going to have a bunch of big fish.
Well, I'll tell you what, those 8-inch fish will be keepers next year. I mean, they grow pretty. There's a lot of bait. I mean, things. The biggest fish I caught was you took a picture of. Is a pound 40, 50, and that thing had shad just half it, just as big as your fist in it, just a wad of them. So they're getting ready. They know it's coming. So.
All right. Well, you coming this weekend, we'll see you. And Joe Allen's got him a new hotspot, so we might can do some live stuff down there if we can get the internet right. But we did a good video. I put a good YouTube video up.
We're cooking. Yes, sir, you did.
That was fun. And Hunter Pipkins, I'm gonna tell you, that boy, he got some talent now.
He is talented. He's a clean singer. I'll give you that.
He ain't joking. He got some pipes on him, son.
I enjoyed that.
I did too. I enjoyed it, Joe Allen.
After you put that out, there's a lot of folks got to holler to me. Want to know when we're gonna have another concert.
Hey, you're on the banks of that Alabama River eating steaks and having fellowship with people, and a guy's playing the guitar. That's about as good as it gets.
It don't get no better than that, does it?
No, sir.
Well, we're glad. We're mighty proud to have you down here. You done become part of the crew down here.
I'll fit right in there. I guarantee you that.
All right, listen to him. We got one more comment before we go. Joe Allen, bring your wasp spray before I get stung filling that freezer with fish. You can't catch them, so I'll fill it up.
All right. I bought some today, and I will get the wasp nest down tomorrow morning.
Oh, Travis, he's gonna tell you like it is now.
Yeah, you heard what he said. He said he said that Shane can't catch crappie good as he can, but you damn sure cook a steak.
Yeah, we enjoyed that steak. It was good.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Kevin will be back with us. Shane, thank you for sitting in with us.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate everybody watching.
Always a pleasure, and you just stay on with us. And thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And we'll see y'all next week, same time, same channel, right here on the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.